Hello, Schmoville. Well, episode 60 is here now, and we just did the Best Actors podcast with Katee Sackhoff. Here is Best Actresses, and this was like the first official show where Katee announced she was the co-host of the show. And again, if you listened to Phase 3 when Katee was the host, you knew the dynamic between the three of us, and you can tell the beginnings of it in this particular episode. We started out talking about, I guess this is when that whole Kristen Stewart scandal broke out, so we started talking about her, and it's funny, listening to me, I was really not against her at all, and I still, hearing my own points, going, oh yeah, I remember feeling like that, and I should still feel that way, because she was 22, and you shouldn't really judge, it's a stupid move, but she's 22, it's a douche director. But anyway, we talked about that for a bit. We talked about Riddick. We were allowed to talk about Riddick finally, that Katee was cast in it. And this was the first time she ever talked about it on any show, that she had a nude scene. Talked about that as well. And then we got into all the actresses and who we liked, who we didn't. There's some Anne Hathaway conversation that's funny. There's some Jennifer Lawrence conversation in there. So if you haven't ever checked this particular episode out, you should. And also weigh in, comment, let us know who your favorite actresses are. And check out the live show every Thursday night, 6 to 8 p.m. on schmozknow.com. The other thing to note is that I think on the last episode, I said that that was our last show, Universal Studios, episode 59. That's not true. That was Toadhop's last show at Universal. There was like a thing that went back and forth. Toadhop had left Universal, and they kind of went their own way and started a new studio, and then GoCast stayed at Universal. So we stayed at Universal for that 1 week, which is the show you're about to listen to, and then we moved over to Toadhop. So I guess you could say this is like phase 3.1 of the podcast, if you wanted to. It's got the asterisk on it. But this was the last episode we ever did at Universal. So again, number 60, Actresses in Film, with our new co-host, Katee Sackhoff. Enjoy.
All right, guys. How about this? It's the new Schmoes Know podcast, and we are in a club. We are raving. We have glow sticks. Everybody here is here. And all right, so we have a lot to talk about today. We're back to basics today, and I'm joined by my friend, my pal, co-host, Katee Sackhoff.
Nice little rope-a-dope. And I am Mark Ellis. Hello, Katee. How are you this
Hi,
morning?
I'm good, Mark.
Yes, for those of you who didn't
you.
listen last week, but we'll talk about a couple things we want to talk about. But first, we have to tell you guys, and we're very excited about this. After last week's show, we did a Best Actors podcast. This is kind of the actors that we like right now, that we find are really talented. We did a whole big podcast on that, and Katee joined us. And afterwards,
Did we get sued?
No, we didn't. We didn't. We're working on that for this podcast.
Okay.
Not yet. The legal system takes a long time.
It does, yeah.
It does. And we talked to Katee afterwards, and Katee she's got a little bit of a break from taping season 2 of Longmire, which she'll start shooting in March. She's going to join us as our co-host for a while.
Whoop, whoop.
She was so enamored.
Yeah.
She was so charmed.
It's true.
By what we brought to the table. She's like, I'm coming back every week. And we're like,
Or-
Katee, we
I
don't know
Or
about
she's
it.
like, I need to save this fucking show.
It's true. It's true. I was
girl
like, I
likes
need
a
to
challenge.
save this sinking ship.
So-
That is the Mark and Christian show.
That's right.
Right.
A more tougher stunt than anything she ever did on Battlestar.
It's true. It's true.
Saving the Schmoes ship.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Schmoes ship, you guys may notice that there's no video. It's a different network now.
Yep.
What this is, Christian, we're with GoCast right now. That's who we're broadcasting with now.
Yep.
This stuff happens in the business.
Yep.
It's not a change to our show. However, we are going back to basics for this week.
Maybe
because
next, we'll find out.
the studio's getting changed around, all that stuff. We still have working mics.
Yep.
That's really important.
That helps.
To a podcast. We're still
Uh-huh.
not going with the string cans, but this is, when sometimes like football teams for a week they dress in their old uniforms.
Yep, that's us.
This is a throwback week. We're wearing the powder blue Charger
We need the
uniform.
cheese sound effect.
They literally like throw back old uniforms.
Yeah, they put on like
yeah.
old uniforms.
Baseball,
Like
too.
it's
Really?
they're not wearing the rags. They don't go to the Hall of Fame and like get those
okay.
uniforms out. They make new ones, but it's the old color
And the only
scheme.
team that does it in college would be the Ducks because they've got so much money from Nike.
Oh,
they
right,
just
right,
cycle
right,
that shit.
right.
Yeah.
No, like everybody else does throwbacks. Oregon does like 50 years into the future because those color schemes are just weird looking.
Really weird.
They were the first team to be like, we should put metallic silver on our helmets.
Phil Knight just smoking a cigar. I know. Let's make a future doc.
Let's make it so when the helmets run by, they're like multicolored, like those cars.
Well,
Fantastic.
we have a lot of silly shit going on today, and we're all jacked up on coffee, and we're still going to be doing Wednesdays. It's going to be 9 in the morning, 10. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening.
This is like us taking a vacation from it's like we're camping, but we're still talking movies.
Yeah,
from the backwoods of Alabama.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about today, but we just got to give you guys the breakdown. So you're like, well, what the hell's going on? We can't call in. Eventually, you'll be able to call in. You guys will be able to connect through Facebook. You'll be able to connect through Twitter, the same way we've been doing. You can call in. We're going to have all that stuff. You just got to bear with us for the next couple weeks. And like I said, Katie's going to be joining us. There's sometimes.
And I just saw the rundown of what it's going to look like, and it's freaking awesome.
It's pretty cool, right?
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting a lot less, and when I walked in, and it was like I mean, last week the studio was like kind of cool, and like this week it's like they have like egg cartons on the fucking wall and like a folding chair for me to sit in, and I was like, what happened? We've been downgraded.
Right.
No, it's just on hiatus.
That's how we sold you to co-host last week. And
none of that stuff was plugged in.
You're in already. You're in.
Right.
Yeah. Sit in the lawn chair and shut up.
It's fine, bitch. Just don't fall through the hole. And it looks really cool, so I'm excited for you guys.
It's almost like we just saw like a special trailer at Comic-Con that hasn't been released to the public yet. So we're really excited about what's happening, but we can't divulge all the details just yet. But check our Facebook page, and we'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah.
So
all right, let's talk movies, guys.
That's what we do.
That is why Schmoville is listening. That is what we're going to talk about. Now, there's a lot of cool stories out there. Yeah, we're going to get to our favorite actresses and people working today. We'll definitely get into that whole conversation because we're sitting next to one of them. But
I'm not working.
Well, not yet. But besides that, we're also there's something talking about actresses. This is an interesting story that came out.
We're talking our favorite actresses in a minute, but right now we're talking about someone who's
despicable ones.
We're talking about the tarnished ones.
Yeah. This girl is not loved by a lot of people. Even her core fan base now wants to see her on a stake.
When even vampires and werewolves are now pissed off at you.
Yeah, and
we're
talking about Panic Room herself, Kristen Stewart, and she is
Panic Room
you
herself.
remember-
She's got a fucking panic room in her house right
you
now.
know she was in that movie?
Yeah, of course. She looked like a little boy. I thought she was a boy for like the first half of the movie.
Most people did. And how she so she now we were talking about this off air, and here's my stance on this girl. She did something really, really despicable in regarding to fooling around with a married man. It was a dopey decision. She cheated on her boyfriend.
It wasn't any married man. It was the director of Snow White and the Huntsman,
Right,
who was married with 2 kids.
And his wife was in the movie.
Yeah, but him directing.
His wife played
she
her
played
mother.
the queen. Yeah, but him directing doesn't make him any like he's a dude with a
2
wife
kids,
and a kid.
right.
And she made a bad decision. She did, and I'm not defending her. What I'm saying about her is 22 years old. Everyone sitting at this table has made really bad decisions when they were 22 years old.
I've made bad decisions
Last night.
since I was 22.
I've made, me
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Horrible decisions. My mom always said that after 25, it's not cute anymore.
Right.
So until I turned 26, I fucking did everything I could. I was like, no, it's totally fine. I'm still 25.
Right. So she did
Yeah.
something in your words, so that was cute, I guess.
Right. It was cute. Yeah, it was fine.
No,
I mean, listen, I did some pretty shitty things.
Right. So
yeah.
so we know we can but the problem is she is one of the biggest stars, regardless of how you feel about her acting or whatever. She's a huge star, and so she's thrown into this public, scrutiny, and then everyone looking at her. But let's talk about this fucking scumbag director.
Right.
Yeah, that's the guy that I
worst
would
part.
blame mostly. Like if I was on the Montel Williams show and I was one of the audience members, and you know how they stand up and they
He
try
did.
to spit?
He
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I'm going after the dude. I'm not going after the
No.
chick. I'm telling you have a wife, you have 2 kids, you need to take responsibility for your
Well, but
actions.
okay,
Boom.
let's go to the other side of it and just play devil's advocate here. We don't know what their marriage is like. They could have an open
still,
marriage.
don't-
They could have an open marriage.
No, she was pissed off.
But you don't know that. She's not publicly said she was
did.
pissed off.
She wrote her first tweet was like "wow," and then wanted to
Who, the
kick
wife?
Yeah, her first tweet was "wow."
Okay,
First of all, your managers need to take you the fuck off Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tweets wow.
I'm sorry.
About
the news broke, and she basically again the 2 people that are no matter what sins they have committed in the past, no one cares about them is this woman and Robert Pattinson. Okay, they can do whatever they want right now, and they are the good guys.
You need to be stopped. Like when Michael Vick got arrested and sent to prison, like he wasn't tweeting like, "Wow, I guess I'm fucking going to jail."
But the woman didn't do anything. She was responding.
You pull back this like weird social media at that point and say like, "Okay, now I need to stop acting like I'm 5 because my husband's a jackass."
All right, yeah. So this is what we have to survive for a little while, and I'm pretty sure this goes away in like 10 seconds, and we just kind of reboot where we were.
This is the old.
This is.
We're using something that looks like the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. This is the actual thing that landed Apollo 13.
Yeah.
This is what got them back.
There you go.
So
and
now
we're
back.
Good.
And we can let them cut. We cannot. But
I say go with it. Look, the Schmoville knows right now that we're going to be. This is like you said. It's a vacation. We're in the shit dumps as far as the technology. It's going to get better. So deal with it.
Every time it buzzes, it's like a bear is sneaking up on the tent. We're in here telling ghost stories.
Yeah. But regardless, this woman tweeted. Okay, she sent it out and she was affected by it. So they didn't have an open marriage because this guy apologized. Kristen Stewart apologized, and the guy was 20 years.
Yeah, but that's all public persona though. Still,
that's fine. But regardless, he's 20 years older. He wanted to fuck the girl from Twilight.
Well, yeah, and she's 22. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, my guy's 16 years older than me, but when we met,
really?
I was 26.
Okay.
So it's
16 years older.
No, 14. Did I say 16? I meant 14.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. 14. All right.
So and he was 39, 40. So it was there was a difference, but I guess that in my opinion, there's still. I mean, granted, 26 is still in my mind a child, but there's a big difference between 22 and 26.
Because the thing, from what I read, again, it's all hearsay, but from what I read is that he was making the passes at her when she first started, and she was like, no. A 40-year-old guy who's been around the block and knows the tricks of the trade can seduce a 22-year-old girl.
Of course, but do you really believe all that, or do you think it's just her camp spinning things to make her come off smelling like a rose?
I think it's a little of both.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit.
I think nobody's asking the big question: how is Bob Pattinson feeling in all of this?
I'll let you know as soon as he's done banging the model that he's with right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, and the reason why we kind of bring it up today is because the news just came out that Universal is going to drop Kristen Stewart from the Snow White and the Huntsman franchise,
which I originally thought she bailed. But you corrected me.
She didn't bail. Yeah, Universal is what they're saying is that they're reconceiving the follow-up sequel to focus on Chris Hemsworth's character.
Right.
Thus, you don't need Kristen Stewart in there.
But that's bizarre. How do you do? Do you just so basically?
Well, if you've seen the movie, it ain't that bizarre because he's the best thing about the movie.
That's very true. But so have you seen?
I have not.
Okay. So
she's not terrible in the movie, according to me.
I was turned off by that. She plays the same character in every single movie, and she doesn't have a very engaging, exciting face to kind of. I mean, if she's playing these dark, brooding characters, you're like, oh, it's perfect. This is Bella. That's great. And she always plays these dark, brooding characters, which is great because it works for her, and she's very good at it. But she's not my heroine.
Yeah,
you know.
And she got out of that a little bit in the first half of the movie, but it was almost like watching Tiger Woods. It's like he has a new swing, but when it gets to be the pressure,
ever refer to Kristen Stewart as Tiger Woods? Don't ever do it.
The scandal's almost as big right now.
Very well played.
There we go. Yeah.
But yes, well, I mean, the thing is, I understand what they could do there. I mean, you basically give the huntsman his own tail. Yeah. Like, Snow White's off banging somebody else's king or something, whatever she's doing. And then
that'd be really funny if they said that.
She was in a fair and she got locked in a dungeon and everybody was okay with it this time. So he goes off and he has his own tale. That would be cool because I think people would see a Huntsman movie. If they're just going to do a Huntsman movie, great.
They're going to see a Chris Hemsworth movie.
But the way that they set it up, is a spoiler if anybody gives a shit, is at the end, it's almost like a love triangle, like that, because... Are you going to see the movie? Do you care if I spoil it for you, Katie?
No, you can spoil it for me. Yeah, I'm still going to see it.
The way that they spun this thing was that, in the original tale, obviously the prince wakes her up from her slumber.
Right.
The huntsman does it in this one.
Oh, great.
So it's the huntsman. The
huntsman's hot. I want him to wake me up, too.
We
He'd wake me up and I'd be like, Hercules, thank you.
We were there last week where you almost fell off the chair talking about Chris Hemsworth.
I know. I try to avoid his movies for, the safety of my underwear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the pants feel. Why is this?
Mom, this seat feels weird. Who was in this theater before us?
That's right. First Paul Rubens, then Fred Willard, then Katee Sackhoff getting caught in a movie theater.
So, I mean, Hemsworth is that type of guy that he can carry the film. So, I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. But it's a scandal. There are many of them in Hollywood.
And I have a question about if you look at the bigger picture, when was the last time you had a big kind of franchise movie? Because Snow White and the Huntsman, it did good business. It didn't do great business, but it did good business.
It's good, yeah.
And you have the star of the movie, and then you're going to bring back the sequel. You're going to bring back the franchise without the star.
Well, I think that in this, it's totally fine because I think the star of the movie was the story itself. I don't think it's Kristen Stewart. I think that you could because this is like it's almost as if it was a video game or a comic book that you've brought back. That whoever you put in that role is fine because the story is the star.
Yeah, it's like in Iron Man, Terrence Howard played Robert Downey's buddy, and then they just replaced him with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, in Major League, when they replaced Omar.
We haven't forgiven them for that. We haven't forgiven them.
Major League was good,
the first one, Wesley Snipes, and then Omar Epps was in number 2, and nobody knows that.
Nobody even noticed it.
You know what we forgot to mention? Last week I wanted to bring this up, and we'll get into all the actresses and stuff too. We forgot to bring this up, and we're not going to forget it this week. Katee is going to be in a franchise that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week.
She's going to be in a franchise.
She's part of a franchise. You know this, and you're going to smack yourself once I tell you. Katee is in the latest Riddick movie.
Oh, really?
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Really? You know this?
Really? Like you...
In
really?
one ear and out the
We've
other.
Talked about. Really?
I'm trying to bring the viewpoint of the listener.
Oh yeah, that's really going to help us out. Katee, you want to stay? We know, we're fans. What movie were you in? What's that show you're on? It's the Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Look, I have a lot of homework to do with Katee. All right, I got to watch Longmire. I got to watch Battlestar.
You're starting back in like the education of Max Bickford days. Like we're taking you back to the boring.
Yeah, she worked with Dreyfus.
You got to start in the beginning.
Yeah, tell her your Dreyfus story. Tell her the Dreyfus story.
Everyone has a Dreyfus story. I love it. What is it?
It's funny. We heard it on Stern. It was really funny. You don't want to talk about it?
No, I don't want to. It's not worth bringing up on the podcast.
Fine. It's funny. I'll tell you off air. But anyway, we're talking about Riddick. So we had
nothing sacred with you.
That's a funny story. You didn't make it up. You heard it on Howard
No, I know,
Stern.
but that has nothing to do with the podcast.
It does because it relates back to her working with him. But forget it. Anyway, this is disgusting. All right, Riddick. So let's talk about the movie.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Okay.
Of course. So can you tell us about your character?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
It's I play a character named Doll, and she's a Nordic tracker.
Wow. So what does a Nordic tracker do?
She's basically like
Nordic Tracker. That's an early '90s fitness equipment,
right?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. With what's his name? Walker Texas Ranger, which
with Chuck Norris. Yeah,
brings it full back to Talladega Nights for some reason to me.
It was like the precursor to the elliptical. You get the arms moving and everything. It was a good machine.
It was great.
You should feel honored.
Thank you. Yeah, no, she's so Doll.
Thank you.
Woo! So Doll, like DAHL though. So she's basically a German bounty hunter. That's
you
like
have an accent?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
That's good.
You
don't want to try one of those.
I don't.
German?
Well, I might, but not German. Like that's like it's very like.
Yeah, it's hard. All right, so she tracks, and do they bring her on, or
she's in one of the mercent. She's a merc, and she's one of the. She's in. I don't want to give too much away, but she's in one of the mercenary groups that go to track Riddick.
Oh, okay. So and I'm assuming you can confirm or ignore it, but what usually happens in these Riddick movies is that there's a team kind of going after him, and then they realize that there's an alien there too. We need this fucker to help us out, so they kind of join together with him. And am I close? She's not saying anything.
I'm not saying
anything.
I haven't seen a Riddick movie. Where do these things take place? Is it on Earth? Is it
like different planets? There's
Mars?
In different planets throughout the
spaceships
the universe.
And stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're from Earth.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
She can't
you
say
said Nordic, right?
Well, but I don't know. I mean,
are
there's
you
so
an
many
angel
planets. Again? Yeah, right. I'm an alien. I have no idea.
Mark is so lost.
I have no idea.
Now,
so this Battlestar Galactica
shit. You're right. That's right. Now,
you're actually right.
There was a thing that I want, and again, I'll hint towards it. If you can talk about it, great. If you can't, we'll move on. But there was something that you had to do that you've never done before in this movie.
Oh, a nude scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I had to show my left breast.
Okay, now
the left. Did you get to pick which one? You're like, look, my right one is just not cooperating today.
I did. Yeah, okay. I did. And the director was actually really cool about it.
Okay. So
I'm sure the director was cool about it.
No, because it was only 3 to 5 seconds of side boob, and I had tape.
No nips though.
No nip, yeah.
Oh,
but I had perfectly covered the other one, so they could not get it at all, and I covered half of the left one, so it was like, because per my contract, it was left side boob.
Remember this? We had a podcast that we did about the sex in the movies and all stuff. And
we did a whole side boob podcast.
Yeah.
Every single thing was like outlined in this thing, and it had to be 3 to 5 seconds. And I'm sitting there like in my head counting, like as the camera's pushing in, going, "That was about 5 seconds. That was about 5 seconds."
Right. So were you nervous out of your mind doing it?
I was a little bit, and then I just did this calendar shoot with Trisha where I was basically nude the entire time. And I'm kind of wishing I could go back and do Riddick now, because like I was walking around in front of like an entire photo shoot crew, which was all men, like in my birthday suit. And
now, how do you get an internship like that?
Yeah, I know.
You're the first guy, like, hey, do you need more film?
Or imagine that the shoots normally like are just awful, and they're like, "Oh, I'm quitting today, man." Like one guy that quit that day, and then they're like, "Oh, they had the 2 girls from Battlestar come in, and they were nude
and intertwined around each other." Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the calendar.
Where can our audience who is now pantless, where can they find this shoot?
You're going to have to go to actingoutlaws.org to order your 2013 calendar.
You just sold about 3,000 of them.
Well, wait, I'm going to pull up a photo so y'all can see it, and then
it's the worst day for us to not have video.
Right?
No, it's a great day for us. We're literally going to hear silence or maybe just drool hit the floor. But yeah, so this is a gift having.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let me go off on a little tangent here because if you hear that an actress that you're a big fan of is going to do her first nude scene, that by itself will draw people to the box office.
Of course.
Now I have a question for you.
Look at Halle Berry,
Christian Harloff. Halle Berry is one.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Halle
I didn't
Berry
pay.
got paid a shitload more money than I did.
It was like 100,000 or 150.
Well, she showed a lot.
I'm saving the whole boob and the other side, the other breast
for
more money.
That makes sense. But you know what?
See, usually boobs are a package deal, but not Sackhoff.
No.
She's like, you know what? One's a free agent. It's a one-time only.
You get
right
5-second nip.
left,
That's all you get.
Right.
Yeah, 5-second nip. That's all you get.
Now, have you ever paid to see a movie just because you knew the actress in it was going to be naked? Not in a creepy way.
No,
I guess kind of
it's
a creepy way.
I
know what my movie is.
Me too.
I don't.
Why don't we take a break? Because it'll come right back after this is
buzzing?
done. They can cut this,
All right.
and then.
Well, I don't need them to cut it because they're gonna send. They're gonna send it.
They're sending the whole
They're sending
link.
the whole thing. You guys are gonna get all.
All right.
This is the raw footage.
I have my movie that I know that I paid money to see a girl naked in.
Holy shit balls!
Wow, look at that calendar.
Katie is showing us the picture here. It is like very artistic, but
there's a lot of limbs. Wow.
Well, there's another one.
Show all the raw footage that's not going to be shown on the magazine.
Buy the calendar, kids. Trust me.
Good Lord.
Let's take a look at that one.
That is not.
Is that just you? What's that?
No, that's
some sort of
not.
light source.
That's me standing in front of an active train track.
Is it?
In an active train tunnel, yeah.
You know, there was a couple in Australia last year that got hit by a train. They were having sex on the tracks and they got hit by a train.
We're selling.
You got to be a damn good lover.
But that's a good way to go out.
I guess so.
It's a good way to go out.
Nude, could you imagine?
Yeah, it's like you're.
And a naked actress was hit by a
train.
Taking photo shoots.
She's got her arms like laid back.
Let me tell you something. If you're doing it on train tracks, you better be naked. The last thing I want to do is die dry humping. Like, let me at least get to home plate if I'm going to die.
The train conductor, I've seen some crazy stuff in my day, but. So, where the hell were we?
So, what's the movie? Have you ever paid to see? I'll tell you what mine is.
What is it?
Fair Game. Starring Cindy
that's a
Crawford.
good one.
I went opening weekend because Cindy Crawford was going to show her chest.
It's a good one.
And that was the best investment I ever made. Best $8 I ever spent.
It's a good one, man. I mean, it's tough because, again, I think it's got to be before, like, 2004 and anything, too, because that's Google. Once Google came out.
And your wife listens to this podcast.
Well, yeah, but still. Once Google came out, you Google image the damn thing. You don't need to go see it in the movies anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So before, Fair Game is pretty damn close because I remember...
I mean, the Basic... I was too young to be allowed to see Basic Instinct. I
was with
my video update.
Oh, you're kidding.
By the employees of video update wouldn't let me rent it. They asked my dad. They're like, is he allowed to rent? I had it. I had already paid for it.
Your dad was like,
I had it in my hand, and then the guy cockblocks me.
Paying for it? No, probably not. Fair Game, I was excited about it, too, because my dad used to take me to see everything.
Yeah.
So if I was excited, if I heard there was boob in it, I'm like, great, even better. It made movies. You know what movie? I was happy that there was boobing because the movie was so shitty. It was this movie with Bruce.
Sliver?
No, Sliver's the one. Yeah, that's true. Bruce Willis was in this movie. What
Color of Night.
Yeah, that's it. You were creepy.
Oh my God, that's right. You creepy person that you remember that.
The problem is that the whole time, you get to see all this boob, and then you see his hog.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Ricochet?
Oh yeah,
Denzel.
That nudity and that, and you were like, damn.
Who was nude in that?
The girl that was fucking him, the prostitute or whatever.
Did you pay? What'd you pay for?
I purchased because
Shame?
you couldn't rent it. And I had to see it for my own fucking eyes, Brown Bunny.
Oh, yeah.
To see her actually blow him.
Now that's
I was blown, literally.
Great word.
Who's doing the...
I told you, we talked about this.
Chloe Sevigny.
Yeah.
She's a celebrated actress.
She's blowing Vincent Gallo, deep throating him. And they were dating. And in the movie, she actually thought it would be a good idea to actually blow him on camera.
How does she... You know what the funny thing? She still works.
The funny thing, everyone thought it was going to destroy her career and didn't touch her.
Nope. Not at all.
If I blew someone on camera,
So that doesn't happen in the Riddick
I would
movie.
be in sci-fi B movies on Saturday for the rest of my
Katee
life.
Sackhoff in Arachnoshark.
Arachnoshark.
Right. Well,
yeah, that would be my life.
So wait a minute.
Not that that's a bad thing. There's a place for those.
Yeah. So that.
they're great.
You remember
Yeah.
we talked about that for a while, and I'm gonna be now. You've been creepy for the last 5 minutes.
Thank
I'm gonna
you.
be creepy too because I want to go back because now this is a total free discussion here.
We're camping.
Katie, you missed out on the Sex in the Movies podcast that we had, and I know that the fans gave me shit about this, and some of them like that I talk about it. Now,
Oh, boy.
here's my point.
He's in a lather, folks. Look out,
I
Katie.
made my point on this, and I know that you're gonna agree with me. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Wow.
Bonnie Somerville was here, and she said she doesn't think that this happens. Okay. Now there have been many sex scenes in films, tons of sex scenes in films.
Yeah.
Do you think that at one point it has slipped in?
No.
Never.
No.
No one ever. Wait. No one. You don't think?
No.
Bullshit.
I don't think so.
No.
I
don't think it's never from the history of film.
I've never done a sex scene that's been that raw, though. I mean, like, you sit there and you watch, like, Original Sin with, like, Angelina Jolie.
And you know that that's possible.
Well, it's possible. I mean, maybe, but I've never done anything that, like,
And
hardcore.
would it even count as sex if it was for, 14 seconds?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
It's just the tip.
Yeah.
I think if it's over 30 seconds. It counts.
No, I don't. I
right.
think that it doesn't count.
All right, fine.
At all.
But so regardless, we had this whole big blown out conversation about it.
Harold, I tuned in to listen to the Best Actress podcast. This is dirty.
There are tons of actresses that have had the sex scenes. We're talking to one of them, and let's talk about some of these actresses that are out there in general, not just doing sex scenes that we love, that are doing really well.
That's not mutually exclusive, by the way. The Venn diagram overlaps.
Yeah, it totally does.
It does. Who's someone out there right now that you guys really love watching? An actress that, not necessarily excelling a movie, but when she's in it, you're like, I really love watching this
Kristen
person.
Wiig.
Cindy Crawford.
So Kristen Wiig, Cindy Crawford, creep again. Kristen Wiig now. So that's more for comedic wise, which is she's definitely on the comedy side.
Dude.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Take it easy. Take it easy. Keep your shirt on. So Kristen Wiig is definitely one of these actresses now who has quit Saturday Night Live and is now a big comedy actress. What is it about her that you really enjoy?
What I like about her is that, and I don't know, it's a very interesting thing. Her timing in comedy was something we'd never seen before in a female comedian. It was just her pacing and the way she chose to speak, and it's very much her. But her timing and her pacing were so different and unique that she just stood out in this sea of other women comedians and became, this huge actress. I mean, she's very interesting.
She really commits,
yeah.
And I think it's more conducive to film, actually, with her skill set than it is just Saturday Night Live. Because Saturday Night Live, you have to rely on other people for one take. And when you watch something like Bridesmaids, you can have fun. You can try different things. And it's not just we have one take in front of a live audience. We have to nail it right now. She can do a bunch of different looks. Yeah. And, I mean, again, if Bridesmaids is any indication, she's had some smaller stuff. She's actually really good in, I think she was in the People with Kids movie that I saw. And
she was good in that?
Yeah, it's a smaller role. You want to see more of her.
Well, you know the thing with her is that for me with Saturday Night Live, at points I got annoyed with her because she always seemed to be doing the same shit. She would repeat. If let's say the character was someone who drank coffee and I love my straw. I love my straw. I love my straw. It's doing or bigger and bigger. That's what she did every time, and I started getting annoyed with that. But then watching Bridesmaids, she was able to play a real character. And she was able to still be funny and use her personality to get the laughs and the moments. And that scene she has with John Hamm in the beginning with that sex scene was
it's amazing.
hysterical.
Absolutely
so
amazing.
Funny when she's doing the making these noises. But she can still be real. And like you said, I didn't see People with Kids, but I imagine she toned it down and it wasn't too big. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing with that, though, is that Saturday Night Live is they're not editing that and cutting it together. It's live. And in a film like Bridesmaids, it's very possible that she did multiple takes that were on the cutting room floor that weren't great, like what you're saying from Saturday Night Live, where she just repeats everything. But that's the best thing about film. One of the great things about film is that you get more takes. You get an editor in there that is pretty much directing the movie and cutting it the way they want it, and they can, throw that shit on the floor and nobody
Chris
sees
just
it.
wants to know if John Hamm slipped it in during that scene.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah. I really think if you look at Bridesmaids, look at any one of those actresses, I can't wait to see the next Melissa McCarthy movie. I can't wait to see what she does again.
She's going to be in that Apatow movie, the one, the kind of sequel of Knocked Up. So this is 40 or whatever it's called with Paul Rudd and his wife. Not his wife, but Apatow's wife.
Have you guys seen that new TV show, Girls?
No,
Speaking of Judd
I
Apatow,
haven't. Is it good?
It is good. I just watched the entire season of it in one sitting. But
can guys like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though. The lead character is whiny. She's selfish. She's a horrible friend. She's not attractive, and yet you love her. And I don't understand. I'm questioning myself as a human right now. Why I love this person so much.
Is that what the show's trying to do? It's trying to make you feel conflicted about this.
It's an amazing thing. This girl named Leah Dunham.
Sounds right.
Okay. She writes, directs, and produces this entire thing.
Right.
Apatow found her.
Right?
She's 24 years old. Judd Apatow found her, and basically, now she's got her own series on HBO, which is really amazing, and it's phenomenally written. But every once in a while, finally at the end of the first season, her friends have started calling her on the fact that she's a selfish bitch, and it's like, thank you so much for saying it, because I actually hate her, but I can't stop watching the show.
It's like the Tony Soprano factor.
Yeah,
he
basically.
was a despicable person, but you loved him for some reason. Yeah. All right, Marcus Aurelius. Who's your actress? Who's the one that when we go see a movie, you find out she's in it, and you are excited that this person is in it?
Charlize Theron.
Really? Okay. Why?
Yeah.
Just because she's hot?
No.
Okay.
That doesn't hurt.
No.
But seeing her in young adult is really because I never saw Monster. I know she won an Academy Award for it. Just didn't look like my kind of movie. But seeing her in young adult, it's really it was such a brave performance. I feel like by her, and I don't like to use the word brave when you're talking about acting,
especially when you got to think about that Pixar movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking Bear in the Woods movie. Yeah. But she just her performance in that was so good because everybody knows the girl like that, and for her to just nail it so well from every look that she gave, just seeing that slowly she's trying to keep lying to herself and that she thinks she's still in high school, it was really, really impressive to me.
Yeah, I agree. She's someone too that what I like about her, she is so damn attractive that.
And when she comes out of a cream bath in Snow White and the Huntsman, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
But the thing is, she's working. There are times she's working against a lot, perception.
Yeah.
Because right away you see her and you're like, well, she's so damn hot. She's not going to be talented. And
the girl from Reindeer Games is in this movie.
Right. But she took that. That movie Monster. She took that chance to make herself look disgusting. Mm-hmm. I mean, that woman that she played is physically repulsive.
Right?
Yeah. And
you need about 8 beers. About 8 beers for that one.
I think 8 beers and a fish knocker over the head.
You're totally right. Somebody should literally smash you in the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
All right, go do your thing.
Yeah.
But no, she does that with certain roles to where she just loses it, and she has no fear, and she commits to it, like you were saying with Kristen Wiig, and that was really what makes her, to me, a great actress. And she's great. She's really a great actress.
Yeah. Evil Queen coming through the board again.
How do you feel about Miss Theron?
I love her to death. I find her to be phenomenally talented. And what I love about her, which there's a big difference between her and a lot of actresses. You can see the actresses that are very vain. Mm-hmm. And they would never be able to play the character in Monster because they'd still want to put lipstick on her or something. But she would still wear lip gloss. Mm-hmm. But she would. She totally would because everybody wears lip gloss. Right. So I'm going to put lip gloss on her. It'll be great.
And that's funny because that was one of your problems with another actress that I'm a big fan of is Mila Kunis. You had the problem in The Book of Eli.
Book of Eli. This is a post. I like Mila Kunis.
I think, great.
And we should talk about her next. But I think the thing with her is, again, exactly what Katie was saying. We're in a post-apocalyptic war, and she looks like she stepped out of a fucking magazine shoot,
right.
man.
Like Mad Max it up. Come on.
Yeah.
Do some shit.
Lose the makeup. You know what it is, too, with her?
So you don't think you could look like that just with a bag of KFC wipes?
No.
No. I highly doubt it. You're not using mud as rouge.
Right.
You're not pinching your cheeks.
Yeah, there's nothing
You don't give a
around.
Shit. You need fucking water.
That's right.
Let it go. It's fine.
So
that's what I respect about Charlize. I think that she's a phenomenal actress, and I think that her vanity is very, very means nothing to her.
Yeah, and I would agree with that 100% because she can look super hot, she can look awful, and she commits to every role. Even as the queen, I thought, and I think it's more of that scumbag director's choice more than her. I think she was a little bit too over the top. But I think that she was probably asked to do that.
Here's the other thing, though, and this just came to me. If you know you're that beautiful, it doesn't matter if you look like shit one day, because in the back of your mind, you're going, I'm actually really pretty.
Wait till what I look like tomorrow.
Prettier than you,
right.
So it's fine.
Right.
It's fine. Even on a bad day, still prettier than you.
But even women like that, I know, still, it's she probably still thinks she's ugly.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which is so silly.
That drives you.
Yeah,
you get competitive with it.
I get upset about that. I've known actresses like, I don't think it's like, you're fucking hot.
You think they're sandbagging it? You think they just want the compliment? Like, I'm so ugly. Tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm pretty. Tell me I'm pretty.
I think it's a woman thing too in general.
Yeah. I have the same 5-pound fight with myself on a yearly basis. It's a fucking nightmare.
Right, it's the thing. I'm
telling you,
it's the thing. And now we brought up Mila Kunis. She is someone she definitely turned the block with her, because when she was on that 70s show, she was just the girl who complained all the time.
She was 14 though.
I know. I know. But she complained all the time, and I'm like, oh, this is. And then they're like, oh, she's gonna be a movie star. Sure, she is, just like Ashton Kutcher is. And then she was in that Forgetting Sarah Marshall movie, and she was so likable.
Yeah.
And she's funny, and she's got good beats, and you really you get on her side.
You do, because I think that she's got that quality where she's excruciatingly beautiful, but she still, for some reason, is able to pull off the girl next door, so women aren't intimidated by her, and men still want to fuck her.
And that's what and that's the thing that you have. If women can get on your side and men want to nail you, same reason as the conversation last week, you're good, and that's why she's starting to do all of this stuff. And she's smart, and her people, her agents and stuff are smart, because she'll do dramatic, she'll do an action movie, she'll do a comedy. She's not sticking to one genre.
And she's so attractive, and she's got such range, but she also pulls off the voice of Meg Griffin so well.
Yeah.
Still doing it, right?
She could pull off a dumpy, chick that everybody in the family shits on.
It's true.
But for her to be in that world is huge, because that's so many opportunities for an actress.
I thought she was so good in Black Swan. I thought she was so good in that movie because because be able, and not the creepy scene that everyone remembers, but like the actual scene.
She was brilliant, and they both were really amazing in that movie.
It's a great movie.
She was great in Ted too.
She was really good in Ted, and that was, I know we have a buddy who's a critic, and he felt that she was the typical girl, the cliche girl who.
I thought she walked the line between I love this guy and I like this bear. Right. It's a weird thing, but it's also we need to move on with our lives. I thought she walked the line of not being a bitch perfectly.
I thought she was great.
And even if she was the typical girl, so what? She played it perfectly.
I thought so too, and I think the fact that we had that scene. If you guys haven't seen Ted, there's a scene with when they're cleaning up something in the living room.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh my God, with Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis, and they just have such great chemistry together, and it's like the back and forth rhythm. She's really good, and I enjoy watching her in mostly everything she's in.
Well, and Mark Wahlberg is a testament to that too. I mean, he's phenomenally good, and he's come such a long way. Yeah. And he's I think that he's underrated as an actor. I think that he's spot on perfect in every single movie he's played. I really do.
Yeah, the thing with him, I enjoy watching the stuff he's in too. The thing with him though is that like most of the time, this movie Ted actually, funny enough, is the biggest distance I've seen between Mark Wahlberg. Because normally he's always playing Wahlberg, even though he's acting.
Right.
And he's acting well.
Just walking around fretting, got to go beat somebody up.
But he's always Wahlberg. I mean, you always know, like, even when he was playing Mickey Ward, he was Mark Wahlberg. But he was good acting well. In Ted, I didn't see him I didn't see the Wahlberg character as much. And it's funny that was the movie. But anyway, moving on to actresses, the one that I really enjoy watching her and everything she does is Marion Cotillard.
Oh, she's beautiful.
My God, she is, and beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, is she a nutcase in real life?
She's got.
Can anybody answer that question?
She has to be crazy.
She's got to be crazy. The thing, and I don't know if I mentioned. I think I may mention this in the podcast last week about the acting with the eyes. She
great eyes.
But there's a scene. I'm not a huge fan of the Michael Mann Public Enemies movie. It's kind of boring. But
yeah, I didn't like that movie at all.
She's so good in that movie. There's a scene where Dillinger is running around. They're trying to catch him. They catch her, and this cop beats the shit out of her. And she's just acting with her eyes, and everything that she says is just not even saying anything, but just through her eyes, and you're like, oh my God, she's like talking to you. Like I wanted to watch a full movie with her. And in Inception, oh my God, she's so good.
In Inception, I saw a little bit of Inception the other day. Then I fell asleep watching Inception. Then I woke up and it was still on. It was really freaky.
Yeah.
It's weird, dude, especially when you have NyQuil in you. And I passed out right before the scene when because she's like the wife and Leo just dreams of her. He misses her so much. There's that one scene when it's like a horror movie and she gives a look from the basement. She like you to see her like turn around. Yeah. And oh man, it's just so chilling to see.
And then and the one she won the Oscar for was Olivia and Rose. She played Edith Piaf. That was the first time I really was introduced to her, and I was an Edith Piaf fan in general. And watching her play her, I mean, she like encompassed everything that you thought about her, and like when she sang, you felt Edith Piaf. I mean, She's great. She's her and Kate Winslet, I think.
I love Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
I think that she did a movie. I could be completely wrong. No. Cotillard did a movie called French movie called Love Me If You Dare or Love Me or Love Me Not. I think it was called like Phuket or something.
Right.
I don't even remember, but it was a great movie. I don't remember. I need to look it back up again because I could be talking out of my ass right now. It's been 15 years since I watched it, but anyway.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things out there, and to the guys, what we want you guys to do that are listening out there right now, you can tweet us still and tell you, hey, we're listening to the podcast, and my favorite actress that you guys have or did not talk about is, and tell us, what you liked about maybe Marion Cotillard or Mila Kunis, and we're going to talk about a few other ones. How do you guys feel about Michelle Williams?
I'm in. She's good.
Just good, huh?
I'm not going to line up to see a Michelle Williams movie.
No, either am I.
Well, I don't think anyone lines up to see anybody's movies anymore.
You know who's somebody who I really am impressed with every time I see her, and I actually would pay to see.
Skipping
her
right over
role.
Michelle Williams.
I'm just saying, but there's other ones that I would do over Michelle Williams. You asked me how I felt, but this is how I feel.
But you just going right over her.
You asked me how I felt. This is how I feel.
All right, but we're not talking about her.
I'm trying to make a point on the podcast.
Michelle Williams, I feel
she was great as Marilyn Monroe.
Okay, she was also great in Blue Valentine.
I haven't watched either one of those movies.
Oh, you got to see.
See, if you want to get depressed for a couple hours, see Blue Valentine. You're just watching this relationship. For some reason, it's like the girls thing. You just want them to work it out, but it's just it ain't gonna happen.
I watch movies to forget about shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pulled into someone else's shit.
God damn it, Sackhoff. You need to watch this movie, okay?
It's not going to happen. I'm going to go watch some shit blow up, and it'll be fine.
All right.
But you ever get depressed, and instead of getting out of the depression, you're like, I'm just going to embrace this. I'm just going to feel even worse about myself.
Watch Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's next time you feel like that, watch Blue Valentine.
Wait a minute. Steel Magnolias is Finding Nemo compared to Blue Valentine.
Right, but that's as far as I can go. This is how little I can go into my own depression.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you'll be really depressed. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
All right. So Michelle Williams again. I think I happen to think she's really another one who can pull off the accent really well. Also. So and married to the late great Heath Ledger and.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I wonder how much secrets.
Isn't she married to Jason? What's his name now?
Oh, I don't know.
From you know who I'm talking about, right? No. I always forget his last name. From How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
what's his name?
Segel?
No,
yeah.
Jason Segel apparently is a real horn dog that just nails everything in sight.
Yeah, no, supposedly they're engaged now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, good luck to the both of them.
Yeah.
Now,
your wedding gift is in the mail, kids. Enjoy your Cuisinart.
And it was followed by your divorce gift.
Oh God.
Come on.
Welcome to Hollywood.
These things don't work. All right,
it says partner Jason Segel, 2012 to present. That's what I'm looking at.
Wow. All right. Who do you got?
I was going to say the Olsen twins, particularly Mary Kate and Ashley.
Who does those things? The dating things.
I'm on Wikipedia, dude.
Who am I dating?
You're dating everyone.
I love this shit.
I'm going to check
out. Cracks me up.
I'm going to check out.
I think I'm still dating a football player.
When you type in who dated anybody, type in who dated Katee Sackhoff. It's interesting.
I'm typing in. Don't worry about it. The other one that I was going to say.
Often?
No, I got sent. But we get so anyway, they have you want to talk about someone else?
I got Anna Kendrick on my list.
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah. You hate her? Wait. No, let's get the Sackhoff take on that.
Right, no comment.
Wait, why was the sigh?
No comment.
Maybe there's some beef we don't know about.
Right. No, there's no beef.
Some behind the scenes, but I thought she was fantastic in 50-50, and she was actually funny in Twilight, which is just so hard to pull off. She was really, really good during the wedding scene in the last Twilight.
She was funny in Twilight.
Yeah, and so she's something that I think, and I really liked her in the Up in the Air.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was good. She's good in those movies too. I thought she was great in Up in the Air. She's another one I think is the Wahlberg thing that we were just talking about. She always plays Anna Kendrick. I think she's good. She's enjoyable to watch. I want to see more from her before I'm saying that she's the next great thing. And I'd love to hear your take, but we can't do that for some reason. All right, so we're gonna move on, and then who?
Look, don't pressure Katie, okay? I'm checking out her Wiki. Did you know that she won a Saturn Award in 2006?
I think two of those.
I wouldn't. Okay, easy, Tiger. You got nominated for one in 2004, and then
it's right next to my fucking Peabody on a shelf.
Right.
Awesome.
Do they give you a Saturn car, like an automobile? Is that what the award is?
Yeah. What do they give you?
It's like a plastic award. It's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Do you have it? Do you know where it is?
Oh, I do. It's right next to my Spike Award, which is like a weapon, and then my Space Award, which is like this 15-pound like alien head dumbbell.
Pretty cool.
it's pretty awesome. But then it's it's around the Peabody because that actually is important.
The Peabody, yeah, that just sounds fancy,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you get your Peabody?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We won the same year South Park did, so I don't know if if that was the year that they were like, we need to give something to the layman folk. Battlestar Galactica and fucking South Park.
You know who else won a Peabody Award? Cindy Crawford for her work in Fair Game won a Peabody Award.
We will not be talking about her as one of the up and coming actresses. Someone that we will, or not even up and coming, just people that we enjoy watching. There's two other people that I think we should bring up before we end today's show. One of them is the latest installment of Catwoman, and that would be Miss Anne Hathaway. Another one?
Yeah,
what
it's
do you know.
I do think that Anne Hathaway is extremely talented.
Not afraid to be nude.
I really do. I think that she's very, very talented. But I do not find her sexy, and I do not think.
Did you ever see that movie Havoc that she was in?
Yeah, I've seen every movie she's ever done. I think she's a phenomenal
sexy
actress.
In Havoc?
No.
Oh man.
You know what? I'm kind of going to the Sackhoff side of the things on this one because when you see her in real life, she just doesn't have a sex appeal to me. Now, when you see her in different movies, but you can make anybody look hot.
Oh, hot. Not sexy.
You can make me look sexy on camera if you have enough plastic,
No one can do that. I'm talking.
I think Frank Oz could make me look sexy.
No one can do that. I'm talking about, and I see what Katie's point as far as sexy goes. There are pictures that Anne Hathaway in paparazzi and people are taking, and you're like, whoa, that's very goth. But when you look at her,
times just shifted. Hot topic,
and get smart when she's doing those little loops in and out. Oh God, she looks sexy in that. In Havoc, she was really sexy, and in Love and Other Drugs, there's parts where she's pretty sexy.
Dark Knight Rises, my friend. She knows how to ride a motorcycle.
Well, no. When she's riding the motorcycle, that's a stunt double. But when she's getting on the motorcycle, she's got a nice behind. We'll
Tuchus, yeah.
But she. I think there are times she can be very sexy.
And she's so talented. And here's why I say this. And people crap on that year for the Oscars, and Franco was just an abortion of a host. But Anne Hathaway was really, really good hosting the Oscars. She can sing, she can dance.
Anne Hathaway is a phenomenal performer, and she's a great, great actress.
Okay,
and
so
she deserves everything that's ever come her way.
So you're agreeing that she's one of the actresses to watch. You just don't see the sexy part.
I agree that she's probably one of the finest actresses of my generation. Right. Yes, 100%.
Okay, so we're all there for that because I think she's done a lot. I mean, because my biggest problem before I saw The Dark Knight Rises, I thought it was going to be Anne Hathaway. I'm like, what is she? They're going to cast her. She's going to follow really not Halle Berry. Good God, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer was fucking amazing.
She was so much fun in that movie, but Anne Hathaway was great. She was great in the movie, and she didn't take away from it. She added to it, and I think that's a testament to how good she is as a performer.
I need to watch the movie to make a comment on that.
You got to check it out. All right, and then we'll switch over to another actress as well, because we brought her up briefly, and that is Kate Winslet.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I got to say her and Marion Cotillard are my two favorites. I think.
Well, you know what my litmus test is, right? Is because I saw Kate Winslet in the Reader. Yes, but there's an add-on to that.
If it's at 3:00 or noon or
if you're sitting in.
Yeah. That's it.
Is if I was watching The Reader and I was watching Kate Winslet and I'm like, you know what? Even if I knew she was a Nazi, I'd still sleep with her.
Yeah, right? She was so good in that movie. God.
Good. She's good in everything.
And she shows a little bit more than the left breast, if you know what I'm talking about.
She goes to town.
She goes to town. But again, it's
hard to keep her clothes on.
Right. But she's not blowing anybody in film. So
not yet.
Not yet.
No, she's a phenomenal actress. She's always been someone that I've kind of, looked up to and admired.
Yeah, it's hard not to. She's so good, and it's anytime she comes out with a movie that comes out past October, it's getting nominated for an Oscar.
It's kind of true.
Very good point. You want to see Christian get upset because he forgot about somebody that he's going to be so pissed off. Jennifer Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. You talk about up and coming. The thing with her is.
See, I'm not that enamored with her either.
Wait, Katie, how do you feel about Jennifer Lawrence?
I think that she's a very pretty girl who.
Did you see Winter's Bone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I saw Winter's Bone. I really enjoyed Jennifer Lawrence a lot during that film because I didn't really care for the film at all. But it was very real. But I thought she took me through it the whole entire time. The only reason I continued to want to watch it to the very end is because I was interested in her, And then when I read all the Hunger Games movies, all the Hunger Games books, and then when the movie got announced, a lot of people were up in arms, like, "Who, Jennifer Lawrence? Who the fuck is that?" I was actually happy about it because she essentially played Katniss in Winter's Bone, just in a different, era.
Yeah, this kind of feels like it's been the Winter's Bone podcast a little bit. We're just kind of in the woods, stumbling around. But not a lot of modern technology.
So does that mean that because I haven't seen Hunger Games yet, so does she pretty much play the same character she played in Winter's Bone?
More or less, but a little fluffier.
Okay. Well, she's a young girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't love her
in...
in...
She's like 22. She won't be banging any directors with kids.
I didn't love her in X-Men First Class.
I did.
Didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, right, anyway.
Didn't really do it for me.
How about Rebecca Romaine Stamos?
I love Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Are you kidding?
She's not a great actress, though.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Because this is somebody that comes in that had come from a completely different
model
job. I don't even know the
right word. So does Charlize Theron.
Right. But I think that Rebecca Romaine has done what she's good at, and she's figured out what she's good at, and she doesn't deviate from it. She, and I think that that's a testament to knowing what your strengths are and your weaknesses, and that's why I think she's still working.
Right.
Because there's a lot of pretty girls that have worked in this business who don't work anymore. Stella Warren.
Right.
There are a lot of models who've gotten a break, and then a second break and a third break, but they're not around anymore.
But they got to be consistent.
So Rebecca Romaine, she's still there.
All right.
Yeah, I also like Michelle Williams. And we saw a movie called The 5-Year Something or The 5-Year Engagement.
The 5-Year Engagement.
And
I love Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt in it, and I need to know more about Emily Blunt because she seems like somebody that really kind of be sweet on.
She steals the Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah,
you're
right. I wish we had a lot more time to talk about her because I've every movie.
Go ahead.
She's in.
Gosh.
No, we only have a couple minutes. We only have a couple minutes left, and she's married to John Krasinski as well, which I didn't know until recently. But she is someone, and she was that movie, The Adjustment Bureau. By the way. That movie is one of those movies that if you see the trailer, you could be thrown off because you think it's going to be like Dark City, and it's a love story. And when you watch it, the chemistry between her and Matt Damon is so great. And Damon's
really
a great
good.
actor. She's so good.
Mm-hmm.
She's so
It's a
likable.
hat movie. It's
I
made to
love
sell
that
hats.
movie.
You fall in love with her. But anyway, guys, okay, here's the deal. So this was our Shoot the Shit podcast. Remember to join us back. We're going to have all the information. Join us on Facebook. Facebook.com/schmoesknow, on Twitter at schmoesknow. Katee Sackhoff, you follow her at Katee Sackhoff, and also go check out her actingoutlaws.com.
.org, whatever.
Okay.
It all goes to the same thing.
Great. So
just start saving your money. Get a piggy bank. Start putting nickels in it because when the Acting Outlaws calendar comes out, that's what you're going to want to spend your money on.
That's right. And make sure also go to Ripped Apparel. Check out some of the type in schmoes for Ripped Apparel. All the cool shirts that you see us wear on our movie reviews, you can get them at Ripped Apparel. All you got to do is you type in the coupon code, you type in schmoes, and you guys will get $1 off of those shirts. They're really cool.
And thanks everyone for listening. This has kind of been like Unplugged. You know when huge bands like Nirvana would go unplugged, Kiss went unplugged. This is what we did, and that we're going to be back. We're going to have the full
acoustic in here,
stadium show. We're going to have fireworks and amps and all that stuff next week.
Next week's huge because we got Jeremy Johns coming in. And Katee, you're going to be here next week?
Unless I go to Mexico, yes.
Okay, unless Katee goes to Mexico, finally.
If I go to Mexico, I may call in, though. I could call in.
That'd be good. Maybe. Depends if we have the technology.
Right.
But
why don't we just do it in Mexico?
I know we should say.
You imagine?
But Katee and Jeremy maybe will finally meet, and Jeremy will have to hold in the fanboyism.
That's right. Reel in the tongue, buddy.
All right, guys. So for the Schmoes Know podcast, for myself, Mark Ellis, and the lovely Katee Sackhoff, we will see you next week.